I walk alone through a wide English countryside meadow, carrying a rough wooden spear in my right hand and wearing simple animal hide garments tied with leather strips around my waist and shoulders. The tall grass moves slowly in the wind under a gray sky, and I search the ground for edible roots near a low mound of earth broken by small burrow entrances. I kneel beside one of the burrow openings and notice the soil is freshly disturbed, as if something struggles beneath the surface. A sharp movement inside the hole catches my attention, and I freeze while holding my breath. A small baby rabbit kit suddenly appears halfway out of the burrow entrance, its tiny body trembling and its fur pressed tightly against its skin. The baby rabbit kit tries to pull itself backward, but something inside the burrow grips it and prevents it from escaping. I see the narrow head and sharp eyes of a weasel emerging from the darkness inside the burrow, its jaws clamped onto the hind fur of the baby rabbit kit. The baby rabbit kit kicks frantically with its small legs, its body partially trapped inside the tight earthen tunnel. The weasel pulls with quick, violent jerks, attempting to drag the baby rabbit kit deeper into the burrow. The baby rabbit kit's body scrapes against the rough soil, and its tiny claws dig helplessly into the dirt at the entrance. I step closer, my bare feet pressing into the damp meadow ground, and I grip my wooden spear tighter. The baby rabbit kit turns its wide, dark eyes toward me, while still trapped at the burrow entrance, its entire body shaking. The weasel tightens its hold and pulls again, trying to force the baby rabbit kit completely inside the underground tunnel. I realize that if I hesitate even for a moment longer, the baby rabbit kit will disappear into the burrow, and I will not be able to reach it. The wind moves the tall meadow grass around us as the struggle continues at the narrow hole in the earth. I drop to my knees beside the burrow entrance, fully aware that I must act now. I hold the baby rabbit kit against my chest in the English countryside meadow, while the narrow burrow behind me remains open and unstable in the disturbed mound of soil. The baby rabbit kit trembles violently in my hands, its breathing rapid and shallow after being pulled from the tight earthen tunnel. The brown weasel suddenly reappears at the burrow entrance, its long, slender body emerging halfway from the darkness, sharp eyes fixed on the baby rabbit kit. I rise from my knees, still wearing my simple animal hide garments tied with leather strips, and I position my body between the brown weasel and the baby rabbit kit. The brown weasel darts forward out of the burrow with fast, aggressive movements, circling low across the damp grass. I step backward across the uneven meadow ground, gripping the baby rabbit kit carefully with one arm, while reaching for my primitive wooden spear with the other hand. The tall grass limits my visibility, and the soil beneath my bare feet is soft and unstable from recent rain. The brown weasel lunges again, aiming for the baby rabbit kit in my arms, forcing me to pivot sharply to protect the small animal. I raise the wooden spear defensively, keeping the sharpened tip pointed toward the brown weasel without striking. The baby rabbit kit squirms in fear, its tiny claws pressing against my animal hide garment as it tries to find stability. The brown weasel lowers its body and begins circling me in tight, fast arcs, searching for an opening. I retreat toward a slightly higher patch of ground in the meadow, aware that I must avoid tripping while carrying the fragile baby rabbit kit. The wind intensifies and flattens the tall grass around us, exposing more of the open field, but also revealing the burrow entrance behind me. The brown weasel makes another sudden dash, forcing me to step sideways and nearly lose balance on the uneven soil. I tighten my grip on the baby rabbit kit and adjust my stance, planting my bare feet firmly while keeping the wooden spear between the brown weasel and the small animal. The brown weasel stops briefly, body tense and tail rigid, preparing for another rapid movement. I realize that the open meadow offers no barrier, and if the brown weasel attacks again with greater force, I may not be able to protect the baby rabbit kit with only one arm free. The baby rabbit kit continues trembling against my chest as the brown weasel crouches low in the grass, ready to launch another attempt. The distance between the brown weasel and the baby rabbit kit shortens with each cautious step it takes toward us. I understand that the danger is not over, and the confrontation in the open meadow may become even more dangerous than the struggle inside the burrow. I keep the baby rabbit kit secured against my chest while the brown weasel retreats slowly toward the narrow burrow entrance in the disturbed mound of soil. I do not allow the distance between myself and the brown weasel to close again. I move sideways across the damp English countryside meadow, forcing the brown weasel to remain in front of me. The baby rabbit kit continues trembling, its small body weak after the prolonged struggle inside the tight earthen tunnel. I lower myself carefully to one knee on slightly elevated ground, while keeping the wooden spear angled toward the brown weasel. With controlled movement, I remove a strip of leather from my animal hide garment, using a sharp stone tool attached at my waist. I wrap the leather strip gently but firmly around the baby rabbit kit's midsection to stabilize its body and prevent sudden movement. The brown weasel crouches near the burrow entrance, body low and tense, waiting for another opportunity. I gather loose soil and small stones from the meadow ground with my free hand. I throw the first handful of soil directly toward the brown weasel's face to disrupt its focus. The brown weasel recoils slightly but does not flee. I stand again and step forward with firm posture, holding the baby rabbit kit in one arm and raising the wooden spear high with the other. I strike the ground forcefully beside the burrow entrance, collapsing part of the loose soil around the opening. The narrow earthen tunnel partially caves inward, reducing the brown weasel's access point. The brown weasel moves backward instinctively, retreating deeper toward the remaining opening. I continue pressing forward step by step, forcing the brown weasel to yield ground. The baby rabbit kit remains secured against my chest, breathing fast but stable. I use the wooden spear to push more loose soil into the burrow entrance, narrowing it further. The brown weasel disappears fully into the dark tunnel as the opening becomes unstable and partially sealed. I stop only when the burrow entrance is reduced to a small, obstructed hole in the mound of earth. I remain standing in the wind-swept meadow, holding the baby rabbit kit firmly, aware that the immediate threat is contained but not completely gone. I walk across the English countryside meadow carrying the baby rabbit kit secured against my chest, believing the danger is behind me. The wind grows stronger and bends the tall grass flat against the damp ground. The baby rabbit kit suddenly stiffens in my arms and begins trembling more intensely. I stop immediately and lower myself to one knee on the uneven soil. The baby rabbit kit's breathing becomes irregular and shallow after the prolonged struggle and shock. I place the wooden spear on the ground beside me and support the baby rabbit kit with both hands. The leather strip around the baby rabbit kit's midsection remains in place to stabilize its small body. I gently loosen the leather strip to reduce pressure while keeping the baby rabbit kit supported. The baby rabbit kit's eyes appear unfocused, and its small chest rises unevenly. I rub the baby rabbit kit's back carefully with steady, controlled motion to stimulate breathing. The wind continues to move through the open meadow, and no other animals are visible nearby. The baby rabbit kit's body briefly goes limp in my hands. I immediately reposition the baby rabbit kit upright, supporting its head and chest. I press my fingers lightly along the sides of the baby rabbit kit's rib cage in a slow, rhythmic pattern. The baby rabbit kit does not respond at first. I continue the steady compressions and gently blow air toward the baby rabbit kit's nose without direct contact. The baby rabbit kit suddenly gasps and its chest expands sharply. I pause and observe carefully as the baby rabbit kit begins breathing again in short, rapid movements. Its small body trembles but remains upright in my hands. I hold the baby rabbit kit close to my chest once more, protecting it from the wind and maintaining warmth. I remain kneeling in the English countryside meadow, aware that the moment between life and loss has just passed. I remain kneeling in the sheltered patch of thicker grass in the English countryside meadow, while the baby rabbit kit steadies itself a short distance in front of me. The baby rabbit kit stands on its small legs without falling, its breathing now even and controlled. I slowly rise to my feet while keeping my wooden spear planted lightly into the damp soil beside me. The wind softens and moves gently through the tall grass instead of bending it violently. The baby rabbit kit turns its small head from side to side, alert but no longer frozen by fear. I take one slow step backward to give the baby rabbit kit more space. The baby rabbit kit makes a careful hop forward into denser natural cover formed by thicker grass and low shrubs. I remain still, ensuring that no brown weasel or other predator appears in the open meadow. The baby rabbit kit pauses briefly, then takes several more small hops deeper into the protective vegetation. Its light brown fur blends into the muted colors of the English countryside meadow. I lower my wooden spear from a defensive posture and hold it loosely at my side. The meadow feels quieter now, with only the movement of grass under the gray but brightening sky. I walk slowly toward the edge of the sheltered area and observe the place where the baby rabbit kit disappeared. There is no sign of the brown weasel near the partially collapsed burrow in the distance. I feel the tension leave my body as I stand upright in the open field. The baby rabbit kit is no longer trembling in my hands, because it is no longer in my hands. The baby rabbit kit survives the attack inside the burrow and the struggle in the open meadow. I turn away from the sheltered patch of grass and begin walking across the wide English countryside meadow. My animal hide garments move with the breeze as I carry my wooden spear over my shoulder. The gray sky begins to brighten slightly as I leave the area behind me. I continue walking forward through the tall grass, knowing that the baby rabbit kit lives because I did not hesitate.